Hello, this is yours truly, Charles Prosper, and welcome again to another installment of Success Through Consistency. In case you don't know who I am, again, I'm Charles Prosper, and what I do is that I show you how to achieve your most important goals through consistency, which is the key to all success. And in these workshops, usually before I start, I always want to let you know that you don't ever need to go away empty-handed. I have some gifts. If you look at the links below, you will see, if you're in YouTube or if you happen to be on my Facebook group, that there are links to my best-selling book that you can get on Amazon if you want to pay $20, but you can download it for free as a PDF. It is and I recommend this every time because I want you to get this. Let me see, the lighting is, all right. It is Why Consistency is the Key to All Success and How to Be Consistent to Achieve Any Goal. You can download this as a PDF. It's about 225 pages. Excellent, but after all, I'm biased because I wrote it and I know what's in it. And I did mention my Facebook group, and if you're not already a member, you want to join and become part of this mastermind group that you will find accountability partners to help you achieve your goals. It is Success Through Consistency. Go to Facebook, type in Success Through Consistency. The group will come up, join, and you'll be glad you did. One last thing. I have an incredible audio, 30 minutes on consistency that I did about 5 years ago. Absolutely mind-blowing and eye-opening. It is also something that you can get below in the links that you see in YouTube or on Facebook, either my Facebook page or the Facebook group. Now, the subject of today is, what's better, to follow a prepackaged success plan, or just to have an idea of what your goal is and then create your own plan, even though it's sketchy, and then be willing to do whatever it takes? So the question is, what's better, a prepackaged plan or the willingness to do whatever it takes without knowing every step of the way? I would say that the willingness to do whatever it takes will get you faster to your goal, faster to achieving what it is that you want to achieve, because it's based on your present circumstances and your condition. The thing is that you can't pre-plan everything as you go about your daily life. There's going to be things that's going to pop up, and when they pop up, a situation arises and you solve it. A problem comes up and you solve it. And it's according to your particular situation. The problem with success formulas that are created by quote-unquote success gurus is that it is a success formula that was based on their own situation at a certain time of their life that worked for them, but not necessarily is going to be a one-size-fits-all solution for you, depending on what your situation is at the present time. If you really think about it, most of the most famous and successful people in the world that you know about now, Jeff Bezos of Amazon, you have Oprah Winfrey, you might have, let's see, I'm trying to think of some of the older classic wealth creators, Andrew Carnegie and Henry Ford, all of these. Did they take a whole bunch of workshops and seminars and step-by-step formulas when they started, especially before the advent of the internet and all of these things? Let's go back really far, like during the time of Henry Ford, Andrew Carnegie, the Vanderbilts, and all of these people. Did they go to seminars and workshops and have step-by-step success formulas set out for them? No. And even today, in today's modern times, successful people, the case is usually that they have an idea what they want to do. They'll create a plan for themselves, and then they'll step out and take action and see what happens when that action is taken. Every action that you take when you have an idea what you should do right now. Whatever your situation is, or whatever it is that you want to achieve, right now you know what is the first step that you need to do. You know, if it's to take a course, to learn a particular skill, if it's to talk to a particular person, you already know the first obvious steps that you need to do to get started on whatever goal it is that you have. That is what you should do, because when you know obviously what you should do, you follow through on that, and then you get a result that'll tell you you're going in the right direction, or now you can go in the other direction. But you're always going to get feedback. I have a friend of mine, I've talked about this before, who, when I had a party balloon business, several years ago, a couple decades ago, and he was working for me. He was about 20 years old at the time, and he was from Ecuador, didn't speak any English, and he wanted to create his own dental lab here in the United States, because he was trained as a dental technician, that the person that creates the false teeth and the bridges and all of that stuff in his country. And then me, in all my wisdom, know-it-all me, said, "Oh, Winston, how can you possibly be successful in that? You don't have any contacts, you don't know any English, it's highly competitive here, and it's going to be really a really hard thing for you to try to do, to create a successful dental lab in your own business here in the United States." Okay. He worked for me for about a year. I lost contact with him. Fast forward 20 years. I am sitting in an outdoor cafe in an area called Glendale, California. And Winston is about 5 feet. So he walks up to me, this 40-year-old, now looking Winston. I recognize him immediately by the smile, by his stature. And he says, "Charles, it's so good to see you. It's so good to be with you. I want to invite you over to my home." He invited me over to his home, and I was totally blown away, in one of the high, ritzy areas of Southern California. And he showed me a 5-bedroom home, which was all paid for. And then he took me to his dental lab, which was about a mile away from his home, all paid for. I think it was a couple $100, and all of his equipment is like $100,000, $120,000 or so. And I said, "Winston, this is incredible. How did you do this? How did you do this?" And he says, "Well, I pretty much had the idea, and I took action. I was willing to do whatever it took to make it happen. If there was a problem that came up, I solved it. If there was an idea that I had to do, I'd try it. Either it would work or it didn't work, and then I would try something else." And I just kept doing this without getting discouraged, until I finally got to the point where things started working, and then it took a life of its own, and here I am, 20 years later, after you saw me last over in your shop. And I said, "Wow, that's incredible. Did you go to any seminars?" He says, "No." "Or did you take any kind of like special courses on how to create a dental lab?" "No." "Did you follow any internet guru that showed you, how to be successful, how to program your thinking, and how to do affirmations?" He says, "No." "Did you set any kind of specific goals that was designated by a particular goal-setting course?" He says, "No, I didn't do any of that." "What about Napoleon Hill? What do you think about him?" He says, "Who's that?" I said, "Well, you didn't do any of these things?" He says, "No." I said, well, what did you do?" He says, "Basically, I knew what I wanted to do. I had an idea. I took a step, and then I saw what happened, and then I based the plan on that, and then I changed it and tweaked it, and I kept moving along according to what was happening, but I never gave up. Whenever I had a problem, I always solved it, and I always learned from the problem that I solved, until eventually I discovered what worked for me, and then I did more of that, and then here I am today. That totally changed my concept of the idea of preset formulas and following step-by-step plans, which I think if you're going to follow somebody else's step-by-step program and plan, you see a plethora of it on YouTube videos. Everybody has this package plan. It's going to guarantee that you're going to be successful. There's just so many of them. But the key thing that you have to do, you have to trust yourself. You have to know what it is that you want to do, and then you have to be willing to do whatever it takes. You take an action of the most obvious thing and see what results. And then you keep building your plan. You have to make a custom-made plan as to what works every time you take an action. And then eventually, you will have achieved your goal by working yourself through learning by doing, by being willing to do whatever it takes. So if you have an idea right now that you want to do something, start it. You have to be okay with not knowing everything that it is you have to do. What you need to know will evolve as you begin to do. As you do something, what to do next will become obvious. So that's my word for today is it is much better for you to know what you want to do, have a plan, take action, learn by doing, and be willing to do whatever it takes and persist and keep moving forward until you discover your particular path to success by your own persistence and your own consistency. Well, I hope this message has been of help to you. Remember, just be willing to do whatever it takes, have an idea, and then keep moving forward. And again, there's happening again. There it is. I just can't stop this. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, leave me some comments below, ask me a question that you have been pondering, and if it's a good enough question, I'll do a video to address it. Thank you again, and I hope to see you in my Facebook group. And remember, know what you want to do, create your own plan, take action, continue to take action, and be willing to do whatever it takes as the problems come up to solve. Thank you.